All right, so today I'm going to be talking about how to use exercise in order to burn more fat. And in order to explain this, there are a couple questions that we need to be asking before we get to the answer. Now, first of all, what is a calorie? Second, what is fat? And finally, how do you burn more fat? So let's start out with the calorie question. What is a calorie? You probably pull out a nutrition label and see something with 200 calories on it. So think back to science class. You probably also remember that a calorie is a unit of energy that we can either consume or put out in the form of some sort of work or exercise or movement that our body does. And then, what is fat? So fat is pretty much our body's way of storing an excess amount of calories that we might have consumed. Let's say, for example, we consume 500 calories, and our body needs 300 of those calories to keep us alive, to keep us breathing, take care of those functions that it needs to take care of. And then an additional 100 calories get used for exercise. Now we're left with 100 extra calories, and those calories will get stored as body fat. I know that 500 calories is not a realistic estimate to go off of, but I just wanted to keep that example real short and simple there. And finally, now that we understand what a calorie is, what fat is, we can now move on to figure out how do you burn more fat during your workouts. Now, in order to do that, we're gonna have to go back to a function, an equation that you probably remember back in science class as well. So the work function is one that compares the force and the distance, right? The force that we exert over a certain distance. Now we can break that down further. The force is equal to the mass times the acceleration. And now I can tell people that work makes you mad. Try to tell that to your boss, see if he or she finds it funny. Moving forward, we can continue to break acceleration down into a function of velocity over time. And now we have our final formula to use. If we remember, this is the work function. So whatever output we get over here, this is the amount of energy that we put out in relationship to the amount of mass we use, the amount of velocity, in this case speed, and the distance over the time. So let me break that down for you. How can you apply this directly into your workouts, okay? Mass, very straightforward, more weight, right? Velocity, speed, we're gonna get through things a little quicker, okay? Less break times, more speed. If you're running for a distance, try to close the amount of time. If it took you 60 seconds to go 100 meters, then let's try to cut that down to 10 seconds. And distance, if you're going 100 meters, try 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters in order to increase the amount of energy that you're putting out. Now, with that being said, don't just go out there and take the current workout that you're on and try doubling the weight you do. Cutting the amount of time that you take to get through it in half, and then increasing the volume by 2 all at the same time, because you're gonna end up hurting yourself that way. You still have to remember what point you're at currently and to progress up to that point. Now let me point out, the areas where you can go ahead and make that quick change right away is, for example, if you're taking way too much time resting in between sets, if you're sitting on the bench press or sitting next to the squat rack for 5 minutes in between sets, try to cut that down. Maybe cut that down to 60 seconds, 90 seconds, but a little shorter than what you normally do. Wait, increase that slightly, right? If you're shooting for 8 repetitions in each set and you hit those 8, you re-rack the weights and it's like, I'm not really that tired. I probably could have done another 7. Then it's time to go up in weight, right? Don't stick to a rep range if you're not giving it your all. If you're going for an 8 rep range, or let's say 6 to 8 rep range, and you get to 8 and you're like, I could do another 6 of these, you gotta go up in weight. You're wasting your time otherwise. And then finally, distance. Always push for a little more volume, a little further distance if you're out running or biking or doing something that requires moving. But try to push yourself to go a little further each time. If you're running for 10 minutes and you're able to get a mile, slowly push yourself up. Try to hit 1.25 miles, 1.5 miles, and eventually maybe even up to 2 miles if you can. So those are a couple ways that you can apply this energy function into your current workout in order for you to burn more energy and therefore burn more fat through the time and effort that you're already putting in at the gym, at the park, or wherever you decide to carry your workout out. Well, thanks for watching. I hope that was helpful to you. If you found that this was helpful and you know someone that might also benefit from this video, do me a favor and send it over to them so that we can all share this information together. Again, thanks for watching.